You know, the story of Joseph has lots of ups and downs, and there is no downer place than when you're in Genesis chapter 39. Here's Joseph stripped away from everything that he knew, everything that he valued, everything that was familiar, a slave among slaves, serving one of the most powerful men in Egypt with no future, no hope. I mean, it would have been so easy for him just to give in to despair, or give in to self-pity, or give in to self-indulgence. And yet, something else is true of him. The Lord was with Joseph. Says that about 5 times in this chapter. And that makes all the difference in the world. Now, we see Joseph, we see him resisting temptation, we see him serving with integrity. But behind Joseph stands the reality of the presence of a mysterious God who's allowed him to get to a place that we can't imagine ever being ourselves. And the Lord is with him and begins to work out his own purpose in a way. Well, it'll be 13 years before this part of the story is over, from 17 to 30. So first of all, we see him struggling with the test of mistreatment, under the power of others, getting power himself, and yet at the same time a slave, and yet living in such a way that it's evident to others Yahweh's with him, still keeping his faith in God, living for the Lord in that difficult time. And then all of a sudden, into his very success has brought him to the place of vulnerability. Potiphar's wife sees him and wants him. And now here's a young guy, 21, 22 years of age, who's got a very available woman who does everything she can. And how do you stand in a test like that? Well, he saw God. And the presence of God not only was with him in his trouble, the presence of God kept him in his temptation. Does the right thing. He avoids the temptation and then is punished for it. What's harder in life than doing the right thing and getting punished for doing the right thing? And he's in prison with no chance to get out, no sense of a hope for the future, and yet we're told again, the Lord was with him and gave him success. Boy, there's so many things in this passage. Things about living under temptation, living under testing, recognizing God isn't punishing him, he's preparing him. But in the deepest thing of all is that God has made a promise that I will never leave you and I will never forsake you. And we need to cling sometimes by our fingernails to that when we're under the worst circumstances of life. So there's lots for us to think about, and there's lots for me to apply to my own life, and I suspect for you to apply to the life of your own self and the people who are in your group. So I trust that this story becomes real to you in a new way as you see yourself in the story of Joseph, and then see the greater story of the Lord Jesus, who endured temptation so that we can come to him in times of need. Have a great time.